here's a quick recap of everything we've already done. We emptied out all of the room, took all the chairs outside, went and picked out new fabric to upholster the chairs with. We also refinished the entire china cabinet. We patched a few holes in the walls and fixed the texture there and painted. We also installed $10 amazing baseboards and repainted all of the molding in the room. Brought the cabinet back in once everything was dry. It started looking really fantastic, and this is where we left off with all of the room ready to be decorated. I know I left you on a cliffhanger, so let's get going and see what else we had left to do. Let's get started. Now that the hutch is back in the room, I immediately want to get started on painting the hardware on here. I'm using a color bronze in a gilding wax that's by Dixie Belle. I did have to do 3 coats of it because the spray paint that I did on the entire piece had a little bit of a slickness to it. It was a little bit shiny, not too shiny, but I had to do a few coats of this gilding wax in order to get the color that I really wanted out of it. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, what I'm doing is I'm doing a Pottery Barn inspired makeover on this room. I love their light, airy, coastal feel that they have in Pottery Barn, like a lot of these inspiration pictures. And if you just go to their website or walk into a store, you'll know exactly what I mean by that feeling. But I think that this bronze color is going to be perfect for that. And as far as the chairs go, you saw them in the beginning. They are vintage chairs that I got off of Facebook Marketplace. So many of you commented that you cannot wait to see how I'm going to upgrade these because I promised you a DIY that would not require any sanding. What I'm going to do is use a stain over top of the stain that's already on here, and I'll show you the mixture that I did custom just for this project. Make sure you wipe down all of your pieces really well, and if you have any scuff marks on there that are not wood colored, like this white spot, just hand sand that small little spot and get it back to wood before you start on this process that I'm going to show you. You do not need to sand anywhere else. I'm going to be mixing this flagstone color that I had a little bit left of with this sun bleached color, just so that I have enough for sure to do this project. You can just use flagstone or just use sun bleached for this look as well, or any other type of stain that has a poly mixed in it. And you're going to put it onto one of these foam staying pads that I picked up in the last video. And I'll make sure to tally up how much I actually spent on this entire project at the end of the video. So then you're going to just get a little bit of that stain on your sponge and wipe it onto your chair in a very even direction of the wood grain. So you're going to want to make sure you're not putting it on too heavy. You don't want it to drip, and you're going to wipe off any excess until you get to the desired look that you are wanting. So if you want it to be a really light color, you're going to not wipe off as much. If you want it to just be a hint of lightness added on there, then you're going to wipe off most of your stain. You want to be really careful when going over the backings like these because you don't want to break anything, so be very careful if you have caning that you're staining. Rhymes. But it does work extremely well and it goes by super fast. I got all 6 of the chairs done in about an hour. I had a whole bunch of stain left over after it was done. Sorry, our garage is a little bit messy right now, but I just wanted to show you it did not take much stain at all to do this. So do not buy the big cans, just buy the little tiny ones. I'm combining it all back into one can again for a use later in the future. But while those chairs are drying, let's start upholstering the seats. This DIY is all about beginner friendly, easy to do, saving tons of money. So we are going to leave the original upholstery on there. I also think that's kind of cool because then later on, like if I were to sell these or give them away or whatever in the future and somebody else redid them, they could actually go back and see the layers of all the different areas of these chairs. And I think that's so fun, as long as they're not like super gross and dirty, and make sure they're clean before you're doing this, of course, that goes without saying. But you're going to put a layer of quilt batting over top of your fabric first. This will help disguise that piping edge that it had on there and give it a nice even texture across the entire seat. It's also going to give it a little bit extra padding. And once that is done, you're going to grab your fabric and you're going to put your fabric face down on the ground. This fabric is actual upholstery fabric that I got for I think $45 for 3 yards. Even though I didn't end up using all 3 yards, it was very affordable. I got it from Hobby Lobby, and you can always go when they have their fabrics 40 or 50% off and get it for even cheaper than I did. But you're going to just repeat that same process again, stapling on your fabric all the way around. You're going to want to tuck and fold over the pieces as you're going so that way all your edges look nice and crisp. And if you are unaware of how to do upholstery like this, there are a million tutorials here on YouTube, and I also have tons of other videos where I do this, and you can learn from those ones or other tutorials. It's really a beginner-friendly project. Then you're going to cut off all the excess fabric that you have on the underside of the seat, and that is it. Repeat the same thing with all 6 chairs. This looks really good so far. I had to replace some of the screws on here. They are 2-inch screws that I had some already in the garage. And then it's time to put them back together as a set. I have been so excited to see this together. Now, the stain is not exactly the same as the table stain, but it is so close. And I also decided to play around with the chair placement a little bit. Do you like having 3 on each side, or 1 on the head and foot of the table and 2 on each side? This table runner I got, I think, from Tuesday Morning a really long time ago, so I can't link it for you, but I can try to find similar items on my Amazon shop and link those for you if I can find them. And my Amazon shop is linked in the description box down below. So I'll try and find some similar things to what I'm decorating with in this video, but I am really excited because it's actually time to decorate in here now. Over here, I used to have that green hutch and this painting, but I changed it out for this one. I actually bought this from Hobby Lobby probably 2 years ago. I don't see it this year, but in my last video, I showed you some that are actually even better than this one that they have right now. So make sure you go back and watch part 1 of this makeover. These little seagrass chargers I got actually from the Goodwill outlet bins. If you've never been to the bins, you can buy random stuff out of bins and they charge you by the pound. I got these chargers many years ago. I want to say probably 3 to 4 years ago from Hobby Lobby. I don't think they have them anymore, but I'll try and find them for you. They're $2.99 a piece, and I only have 4 of them. But I'm going to kind of create this really balanced look with all these items. So I've got the natural fibers up top. I'm doing like a navy and copper here. On the second row, these copper canisters I got as a gift. My family got them for me from antique stores. I have this copper kettle that I'm putting. And as you're decorating your shelves, it's always good to try and do things like diagonally. So I have the copper is like diagonal from each other on the shelf, and the navy blue is also diagonal from each other on the shelves. And all of these items either came from Goodwill, Hobby Lobby, yard sales, you name it. I did not buy anything new for decorating these shelves. These are all things that I just had in my home, shopped my own stuff, and look at how good it looks with the color of the chairs next to it. Oh my gosh, it's all coming together. It looks so good. I had a really good time playing around with these shelves. These antique books that I have, I also got from the Goodwill outlet bins, and I paid 50 cents a piece for them. A lot of them are actually antique cookbooks. I have my grandma's punch bowl, so I'm going to put that down here. We actually use it quite a bit. Anytime we have a party, I make a punch for that. And then over here, I have a yard sale find. I love this little soup tureen, so beautiful. And I think I'm going to change out one of these copper pieces to be another kettle. I feel like it just balances it a little bit better on that side. And then over here, I'm going to add some of my vintage and antique pictures that I already had that I've gotten secondhand over the years.
We have officially made it to the last day of this makeover.
I just have a little area left to decorate above my grandma's cabinet. I had this little painting from Hobby Lobby as well. They have the best art selection for the best prices in my opinion. And I'm just going to hang that up over here. I feel like it has the perfect color scheme for what I'm going for. And it looks a little bit like a beachy marsh, like something you'd find here in the coast of Texas. You might remember some of these items from one of my Pottery Barn Look for Less videos, and if you haven't seen that, I'll link that in the description box down below as well, so you can check that out. And then I stole this lamp out of my kitchen and brought it here because I feel like it just looks better here, and I think I'll just have to find something else for my kitchen spot. But look at how nice all these colors have come together. It really is so hard to believe that this is what we started with. All the mismatched everything. It was super dark on this side of the room. All of these chairs that needed to be redone, which turned out to be way easier than I even thought. And it turned into this gorgeous, kind of Nancy Meyers looking, Pottery Barn inspired, elegant yet casual dining room. And I still have space on the shelves to add things as I collect things over time. I feel like it's good to have a little bit less than to have too much. So although it does seem a little bit empty on some of the shelves, I can slowly but surely put things that I truly love and collect on these shelves to finish it off over time. I just want to add this little seashell in here. We actually bought that from Galveston Island on a little day trip that we took with the kids, and I thought it looked really perfect in here. But now it's the moment you've been waiting for. How much did this entire room makeover cost? Let's break that down for you really quick and show you just how much it would cost for you to recreate this using the items that I had to buy to do it. For the fabric, we spent $45, staining pads were $6, spray paint was $88, spackle $9. Our half round trim was $50 for the whole room, and trim paint was $28. That brings our total to $226. Not bad for an entire room makeover. If you liked what you saw today, don't forget to hit subscribe so you can see more. I'll see you next time. Bye!